Today I am finally going through the Warhammer Age of Sigmar core book. This is probably not the latest edition of the core book, since I did find this second hand. I think I only paid $6 or $8 for this book. This is a very large, big and heavy book. It is quite massive. I won't be going into too much detail or reading everything because this video will be several hours long if so. I really do hope you will enjoy this video. So sit back and relax. Thank you. This is the edition from 2021. As I mentioned, not quite sure. It feels like 2021 was quite recently, but I mean now when we hit 2026 that will be 5 years ago. I'm very happy to create this video. I know there's not a lot of people going through the Age of Sigmar edition of Warhammer. I know it's way more common to be into 40k, so this feels maybe like a little Christmas gift for you who do enjoy Age of Sigmar. Contents: realms of war, war unending, clashing empires, ancients of chaos, bringers of death, harbingers of destruction, and the rules. The mortal realms have been despoiled, ravaged by the followers of the Chaos Gods. They stand on the brink of utter destruction. The fortress cities of Sigmar are islands of light in a sea of darkness, constantly besieged. Their walls are assailed by the maniacal borders and monstrous beasts. The bones of good men are liquid thick outside the gates. These bulwarks of order are embattled with as well as without. For the lure of chaos beguiles the cities with promises of power. Still the champions of order fight on. At the break of dawn the crusaders' bell rings and a new expedition departs. Stormforged knights march shoulders to shoulders with resolute militia, stoic Duardin and slender elves. Bedecked in the splendor of war, the Dawnbringer crusaders venture out to found civilizations anew. This is the time of turmoil. This is the era of war. This is the Age of Sigmar. Their names inscribed in the tomes Valoris. The brave go forth in a great splendor. Many of these Dawnbringers have nothing but hope, greed, or a burning desire for vengeance to sustain them. Still they fight back the darkness that surrounds their home, willingly bearing the heaviest of loads in the name of the God King. By their hand is the new empire forged in the fires of bitter conflict. Onwards they march, these brave crusaders, into the hellish reaches of the realms. They have good steel at their side, and the power of arcane technology is all about mastered. But but it is never long before the wolves of strife and disorder close in, harassing the stragglers behind the main body. Then, when the hour is darkest, they spring an ambush to tear out the throat. So the people of Sigmar stake their claims, each nexus of power sought out a great cost. New buildings rise over the bones of fallen temples. New cities are built on the corpses of the old. They too are soon stained with blood, but perhaps with Sigmar's chosen fighting to hurl back the terrors of the night, the promised dawn will come in time. Realms of War, welcome to the Age of Sigmar, an epic setting in which heroes, gods and monsters clash upon the fantastical battlefields of the mortal realms. This book is your gateway to a world of thrilling adventure and deadly peril, where the mighty champions of the god king Sigmar fight to defend mortal kind against soul-hungering demons, undead horrors and hordes of war-crazed brutes. Collecting Citadel miniatures, collecting for displays. The tank called Trogoth, very beautiful. So Age of Sigmar is a little bit more fantasy than futuristic, which is really, really great if you're into that. Playing the game. Narrative play. War unending. The Age of Myth. The time known to mortals as the Age of Myth is one of the epic tales and folklore. It is recorded not so much by the written word as by the oral tradition of the skald, the seer and the village elder. This is a time when gods and monsters clashed over a formative cosmos. The seeds of the first civilizations were sown, and the scourge of chaos was but a shadow in the minds of a scant few. And the god king, of his arrival in the mortal realms, Lord Sigmar will not speak, even to allude the destruction of the world that was. Is to risk his thunderous wrath, but the legends of High Azure have much to say on the subject nonetheless. Sigmar is often depicted hurling across the cosmos, either taking the form of a twin-tailed comet or emblazoned upon one. The sages tell pantheon of order. Sigmar, Hammer, was not the only deity to have manifested in the mortal realms. Those beings who had ascended to godhood during the demise of the world that was had awoken far removed from the another. But as Sigmar travelled the realms, he united them in a pantheon, for a time at least. The gift of civilization. The times known to men as the Age of Myth were days of unlimited horizons of potential. The realms were replete with resources, both magical and mundane, and provide fertile ground for the foundings of new cities. Sigmar's visions was to make reality in 100 nations and more. For a time, life was good. And the power of chaos. The four dark gods of chaos have always sought to corrupt and destroy reality, forever in tension as they seek to surpass one another in the great game. Their power ebbs and flows, and of late a fifth god has joined their number. As long as emotions rage within the hearts of mortals, they can never truly be defeated. Khorne, the blood god. Khorne is made stronger by every conflict, for he is rage incarnate. And with the recent eruption of barbarism in Gur, his potency increases once more. He is perpetually wrathful, roaring beings of infinite strength and supreme battle prowess. Tzeentch, the changer of the ways. Endless are the schemes of Tzeentch, overlapping and tallying amongst one another with fractal complexity. He is the architect of fate, as the god of sorcery, hope and deceit. He has an unrivaled comprehension of magic, but also destiny, intrigue, ambition and subterfuge. Being a master of all change, he has strong claim to ultimate power, for without transformation, a warrior cannot ascend to greatness. The gods cannot bestow their gifts, and the living cannot die. Nurgle, the Plague Father. Nurgle sees himself as a generous god, a belly-laughing patriarch who ladles his carefully brewed concussions across an ungrateful cosmos. In fact, the dubious gifts that Nurgle lavishes upon reality are only seen as blessings by the insane. Slaanesh, the Dark Prince. Slaanesh is the patron of excess in all things, master of luxury, indulgence, and creative power. His realms of influence include music, art, and desire, but also sadism, perversion, and cruelty. His lifting laughter can be heard on the cusp of senses, wherever discipline bows to temptation and virtue falls to vice. By light, by famine, by pestilence, and spite, the great horned rat cannot be denied. A dark god enchained. The gods of chaos are primordial and cosmic, the coalescence of emotions and concepts so powerful. They have existed for as long as sentience itself. To them, the new gods were upstarts, little more than pieces in the great game of the ruinous powers that played for aeons. Yet even they were not invulnerable, as Slaanesh, the Dark Prince, found to his cost. The Age of Chaos. Far beyond the void, the dark gods looked upon the civilizations of Sigmar's new order with covetous eyes. Sooner whispers were heard in every realm, half imagined but powerful nonetheless. When the escalation of civil war, arcane rivalry, and blasphemous ritual led to reality itself splitting open, the poison of chaos spilled through. The doom insidious. The cataclysm brought to the mortal realms unfolded in 1,000 different ways. No two damnations were alike, for the entire panoply of human life had spread across the realms, adapting to the sites they settled and making them their own. But the domination of Sigmar was not to last. The humbling of the God King. Sigmar's powers was such that with every blow of his world-shattering hammer he massacred the science of chaos and sent demon kings howling back into the void. Though he won many a battle, he was slowly losing the war. At the Battle of Burning Skies, his true plight became horribly clear. The dying of the light. The critical loss at the Battle of Burning Skies saw the struggling war efforts against chaos fall into total disarray, with Sigmar's people making their exodus to Azure and his pantheon looking to defend their own territories above all else. Disaster loomed, whilst in Hysh another kind of cataclysm was gradually unfolding. Dominion of Chaos. Across the wondrous landscape of the mortal realms, the great game of the Dark God was fought anew. Each surrender, each treacherous deed, each act of bloody abandon was another step towards the demise of the old order. So began a new epoch, the 5 long centuries of strife known to men as the Age of Chaos. And once all the lands of mortals had been thrice damned, the demons and the fiend turned their blades upon each other and fought for the amusement of their thirsting gods. The Age of Sigmar. Just as reality seemed about to splinter apart, a new sun dawned, a new day, cast in the light of the blazing tempest, burned itself into the annals of fate. With the explosive strike against the darkness, the war for the mortal realms was never again the same. The Realmgate Wars. Sigmar's first priority was to break the strange hold of the Chaos Gods had on the 7 realms outside Azure. He would do so not through the decapitation of the enemy's forces, nor through a war of Trojan, but by claiming and fortifying the arcane portals known as realm gates. Seeds of Hope. Hundreds of realm gates taken at great cost in lives form the hubs of new strongholds. Around them the wheels of civilization began to turn anew. First of the founding cities were the seeds of hope in Gyra. Through every mortal realm boasts cities of its own. Through most are under siege, a few are thriving despite the odds. Dark omens. Though the new cities raised their walls high, none were truly safe. An ancient enemy of Sigmar's had slowly been amassing power in the darkness of Shyish, and was ready to make its move. Nagash, a grand scheme near fruition, and already the ripples of his impossibly ambitious masterwork were felt across the realm. The Soul Wars. The mortal realms, ravaged as they were by the scourge of chaos, were caught in the throes of a new cataclysm, known as a necroquake. It saw the spirits of the dead rise in their billions to fall screaming with jealous hatred upon the lands of the living. The Arcanum Optimar. Scant few generations of the Sigmar's tempest broke. The cosmos of war The cosmos was battered by a new period of strife, known as the Arcanium Optimar. It bolstered the power of those who could wield magic to dangerous levels and, through them, unleashed a new and lethal spells across the realm. Ascension of a Dark Queen. Morathi, the Shadow Queen of Ulgu, had long desired godhood. She had languished in power by comparison to her son, Valerian, but over time had risen to prominence as the oracle of a god who no longer spoke. Now with the realms in upheaval, she was to make her greatest gamble. To shine amongst the darkness, the bane of Hysh was pride, and it almost consumed the realm entirely. Were it not for the visions of Teclis, the god of light, the entire realm would have been destroyed. Yet the Lumineth and their allies came back from the brink. In doing so, they set up to save the realms from the pall of death that was consuming them. Cursed skies. The demons of the ruinous powers had looked with scorn, confusion, and trepidation upon Sigmar's new armies, for it seemed their new foe had some manner of immortality in which to fight them. Era of the Beast. The distant thunder of splitting chasms rolled across the garish outlands as a prehistoric god awake. Keragnos, the end of empires, had come, and with him marched endless horde of greenskins. The mortal realms. The mortal realms are vast beyond the ken of human mind. They are near infinite in scope, their edges defined by only their lethality. Not even gods themselves can claim to know every aspect of the grandeur. And the cosmos arcane. After the destruction of the world that was, the mortal realm was slowly formed in the etheric void. Hysh is sometimes seen to rise like the sun. Ulgu is the realm of shadow, Shaiish the realm of death, Akshri the realm of fire, Shaman the realm of metal, Gur the realm of the beast, Kiran the realm of life, Ashir realm of heavens. The realm spheres. The mortal realms vary in size and shapes, though they are all held within orbs of energy known as realm spheres. Beacons of hope. There's a lot of lore in these books. Dawnbringer Crusades. Oh well, look. The Dungeon Freehold. Actually, the realm of fire. The Age of Sigmar is also massive. Chaos in the Great Porch. I really love maps like this. Fires of Conquest. Emerald Actual. So these are all the lore about the different realms. The bright city with a wonderful map. Armies of Hammerhall, Ashquell, the Golden Lion, Flag Wavers, Elfballers, Saddlebaggers, All-Breed, Glory Hunters, Chanters, Blue Bloods. Indica, Bulwark of Faith, Shire, Shadow, Realm of Death. I love how pretty the maps are in the Age of Sigmar. Look how large the lands are. From the woods of Dwarf, Leases. And Olga, the realm of shadow. Blades in the dark. Misthaven. Ish, the realm of light. Illuminated conflict. Settlers gained enlightened city with diamond or crystal clusters in the city building. Azure, the realm of heavens. Looked a little bit dark for being the heavens, but Azure is a dark color. The realm of chaos. The realm of chaos is the nightmare that lies beyond the borders of the mortal realms, a vile and terrible reality in which reside the primordial dark gods, their infinite multitudes of demonic servants. Everything that dwells here, from the most minor spiteful imp to the fiercest horned monstrosity, is formed from the dark emotions of mortal kind. Clashing empires. Sentinels of order. The forces of order hold the bulwark against the darkness, the battered but resolute shield that keeps the terrors of the realms from preying upon mortals. For them, each day is not only a battle for survival, but also to reclaim what was lost over centuries of bloodshed and horrors. Stormcast Eternals. The Stormcast Eternals are Sigmar's favored champions, mighty warriors who wield the Tempest Fury as a weapon and who return from death to continue the God King's wars. The cities of Sigmar. The cities of Sigmar stand proud against the forces of ruination and disorder. From these shining fastnesses, a host of mortal soldiery will march forth to reclaim the realms. Take up thy blade once more. Seraphon. Little understood and widely feared, the Seraphon are a race of reptilian warriors crafted to be the guardians of the cosmic balance. Idoneth Deepkin. Oh, that is very beautiful. The Idoneth Deepkin are the most mysterious of all elven races. From beneath the oceans of the mortal realms, their armies launch blistering raids, though not in search of gold or even bloodshed, but to claim the souls of surface dwellers. Sylvaneth. The Sylvaneth are the guardians of nature, charged with preserving the cycle of life and protecting sites of sacred power. Many they are a fey and unnerving race, but when they are roused by the furious song of war, there is nowhere in the mortal realms one can hope to hide from their vengeance. Lumineth, the Realm Lords. The Lumineth Realm Lords are masters of art and war, a mighty elven race dedicated to the pursuit of enlightenment. Daughters of Cain. Fanatical and bloodthirsty, the Daughters of Cain are a fearsome elven warrior cult hailing from Moloch. Under the rulership of Morathi, our sorceress was had achieved the divine apotheos she had long sought. They honored the god of murder with each furious knife strike and acrobatic fearlessly. Fire Slayers. The Fire Slayers are a Duradin warrior culture who worship the fallen god Grimnir. Karathon Overlords. Ingenious, businesslike and possessed of fearsome technological might, the Karathon Overlords are Duradin unlike any other. In the battle for the mortal realms, mortal and immortal must stand as one. Sigmar's vision will only be manifest through a great sacrifice in lives, and in that, perhaps he and the dark gods he opposes are not so different after all. Different seraphims. Very fantastical, high fantasy, even though it's set in different realms of space. Karathon Overlords, Fire Slayers, looking almost dwarven. I don't have deep king. Agents of Chaos. From beyond the veil, the Chaos Gods was with hungry eyes. Created from the very sins of mortal kind, they desired to turn the realms into reflections of their own depraved natures. Slaves to darkness. Beyond the fragile boundaries of civilization, the tyrannical empires of slaves of darkness dominate the lands. How beautiful. Agents of Slaanesh. Blades of Corn. The Blades of Corn revel in the carnage of the battlefield. The devoted warriors of the most bloodthirsty of the Chaos Gods, they plunge headlong into the most savage and hate-fueled fighting imaginable. Disciples of Singe. The Disciples of Singe lurk in the shadows, manipulating the strands of fate to serve their whim. They are bringers of madness and pandemonium. Maggotkin of Nurgle. The Maggotkin of Nurgle are entropy and sickness given form, charged by their disgusting deity with spreading disease across the mortal realms. They do not let anything stop them from accomplishing their sacred task. Hedonites of Slaanesh. Born from the excess of mortals, the Hedonites of Slaanesh come to bring ecstatic carnage to their realms. Though they may appear graceful, poised, even urbane, such is a sinister mirage, for the Hedonites are monstrously cruel. Skaven. Hidden in the darkness, the Skaven clan scheme and multiply. These maniacal rat men eagerly prepare for the day their numberless hordes swarm from the shadows and hover around the surface world. There is no one they will not betray, least of all each other, to achieve their goal. Beasts Bloodthirsty and savage, the beasts of chaos are mutated monsters that dwell in the most dangerous regions of the realms. Slaves to darkness. Blades of Khun, disciplines of Singe. Maggotkin of Nurgle, and Hero Knights of Slaanesh. Beast of Chaos and Skaven. Bringers of Death. The dead do not rest easy in the mortal realms. The fell winds of Sarshire sweep across the lands, and where they pass, mouldering corpses and unquiet spirits stir. Soul-blight gravelords. Beneath the sinister glow of the realm's moons and clouds shrieking bats, the armies of the soul-blight gravelords march. Flesh-eater courts. The flesh-eater courts are armies of degenerate cannibals afflicted with a terrible curse, ruled over by the monstrous vampiric creatures known as aberrants. Night and Haunt. Ghostly blades flashing in hollow eyes ablaze with cruelty. The Night Haunt emerge from the underworld as a howling gale. Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Advancing in disciplined lockstep, the Ossiarch Bone Reapers come to conquer the lands of the living. The Flesh-eater courts, Night Haunts, Grave Lords. Harbingers of Destruction. From out of the wildlands, the tribes and clans of destruction come howling and stomping, heath, the earth cracking beneath the violence of their primeval onslaught. Gloomspite Kids. The Gloomspite Kids are mad, bad, and extremely dangerous to everyone in their immediate vicinity. These boggle-eyed grots and their Dinos cave beast allies may not be the most disciplined fighting force in the realms. Orruk War Clans. When the Orruk War Clans are on a rampage, reality quakes. These green-skinned brutes are obsessed with fighting, firmly believes that they are the hardest creatures in all the modern realms. Some orcs, I love that. Ogre Maw Tribes. The Ogre Maw Tribes are on a mission to gobble up the mortal realms in their entirety. Sons of Behemoth. When the Sons of Behemoth are on the move, all would do well to flee in terror. These gargantuan louts lay waste the settlements and squash fled entire armies for the boneheaded joy of it. This is really cool. Oh, look how beautiful the giants are. And the rules of the game, which we will probably not go through in its entirety. I really enjoy how different the armies are from Warhammer 40,000. I think I do enjoy the rats, just because I do love rats. No, they're all the bad guys. I usually do enjoy playing a little bit of bad guys. Look how beautiful the wildwood terrain is. So this is a very, very large book. I'm quite happy to be able to go through this with my camera still recording. It is getting a bit old, so I have to charge it quite a lot. Might just be the battery, but I really want to upgrade my setup next year. I do enjoy the giants. This is from the studio collections. An open play. Very beautiful armies. And this whole book, the artwork, the miniatures, very, very impressive. Different battle plans, matched play. Look how big the game maps are when they're made, the whole battlefield. The armor booster. This is the time of turmoil. This is the era of war. This is the age of Sigmar. I hope you enjoyed this little early Christmas present or gift. If you're interested, please check out my Patreon, where I upload weekly exclusive ASMR content, a little sneak peek of what's to come. Or if you just generally want to support my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.